Good morning, it's Ted from the Devils in the Detail. I've been working on this bumper, as I says in the last video. Now I've got this a third of the bumper to do, but when this has been washed, grit obviously comes out of this plastic trim and gets dragged along, so we've got some real bad scratches that run right up against the trim and on the edge of the panel. Now I did lightly flat them yesterday, and I have to say that a lot of it's come out, but behind here I haven't removed the water jet, and to be honest with you, it's because I don't know whether they pop out or whether they're bolted in, else I'd normally remove them, but it is what it is. But I've got the 1-inch polisher out, compounds on there, and I'm using Porsche H902, and I'm just going to show you how close we can get to the edge, which I've masked up anyway, but here we go. This is on a rotary adapter on this machine. It's battery operated. Now I don't expect to be able to remove it all in one set, but as you can see, I can get right up against the water jets without causing any damage to it whatsoever. And try and iron out all these scratches. Right, let's have a look. I can see that I haven't got it all out yet, but it certainly looks like some of it's coming. And it's got 90% of it out. I've just got to rework this area around there. So to prep it, that's what the pad looks like after it's done a bit of work. Blow it out with the air line so that we've got all the air standing again. Now I've still got a little bit of compound left on the panel here that was moved around, so I'm just going to use that rather than keep loading loads of paste on. You don't need loads. Now I've got this on a very low speed because I'm not trying to burn anything out. I'm just slowly wearing away at the scratch. But you can see I'm not just holding it in where the scratch is and pushing down and trying to burn it. I'm leveling the panel so that obviously get a better finish as we go along, because I'm going over the old panel and I'm not likely to get that hot that I burn the paint, because I've got the rotary adapter in it, but I have turned the speed right down so I can just wear away at it nice and gently. And no, I'm not going to cause any damage. Obviously I'm watching it as I'm working it, and I've got to work my way all the way around the trim. I've already done a lot of it, but this is not a 5-minute job. You know, to get the sort of finish this is going to have, you know, this is just really the first stages of getting a finish. Get rid of the scratches and then refine back the finish. Like I say, I did lightly wet flat it, which has, you know, got a lot of it out, but there's just a nick now on the end that I'm going to work on to get that out. But I just thought I'd show a little bit. I mean, I've got three polishers on the go here, and obviously I've got an adapter for this machine to turn it into an orbital. When I remove, that's the rotary. You see there's no balance weights, it just spins on an axis, and on the orbital you've got the balance weights that throw it into an orbit. So there we have it, just a little bit of a tip, and I'm going to get on now and get this out. Less chatting, more doing. So I'll see you a little bit later and we'll see how it comes out. Right, well, I finally finished the front bumper and got that looking lovely. I've now moved on to the front wing and started the polishing, but there's lots and lots of deep scratches along this front wing, and there's even more as I go past the petrol flat. But for now I've done a two-stage flat on the top of the wing, as you can see, and around the wheel arch. There was too deep to really cut out safely, so for what it takes, it's just better to flat them out. Now we'll start polishing, see what the results of that are like. Right, bumper has come out lovely, and let's get this looking just as lovely. I'll see you later. Right, I thought we'd have a look at the progress I'm making on the Porsche. I've completed the front bumper, and I've been on this front wing, and as you've seen by previous videos, I wet flatted it up to roughly around about here forward, and thought I'd show you what the difference is it's made. This is obviously the part of the panel that I haven't yet started doing. And as you can see, there's plenty of defects to remove, and as we move forward, this is up to I've just got the last stage to do, but as you can see, it's absolutely crystal clear. I've just got a final stage with Menzerner 3800. To be honest, I don't think that you can actually get the gloss level any higher than this, but I'm going to do it anyway. There is a couple of issues on the wheel arch that I've still got to sort out. A few scratches on here that I haven't removed yet, but they're coming, and that's what I'm going to work on next, is just this wheel arch lip, and get that all the way around. I'll be using a 1-inch polisher on that, but no, it's looking just how I want it. You know, this is a concourse detail with, I'm really trying to get 100% of the marks out of the car, regardless of how much work it takes, as long as I've got enough lacquer to work with to flat. You can see the inside of the wing is exactly the same. I am working on a stone chip repair down here. I'll just give it some more paint and let that go off, and I'm just going to start on the rear part of the wing now. If I can get it to this standard, then I'm happy. It's going to look absolutely stunning. Right, so rather than keep talking about it, I'm going to put my mouth there, where my mouth is, and get it done. But no, I'm really pleased, and just showing off the work. You know, this is where all the hours go for a finish that's going to be better than it come out the factory. Right then, let's get some work done. Thought I'd show you the next stage of the rear half of this wing that I'm preparing for polishing. And as you can see, there's a theme starting with the colour sanding. You can see that as I've flatted into the door with the same strokes, so that when the light transitions across from the wing to the door, it should be identical. So obviously, because I flatted there, it means the door's going to get flatted, which means the whole car's going to get flatted. At this point, I want to thank the owner, Ian, and basically giving me the time and the budget to create what I hope is going to be my masterpiece. This car, I'm determined to make it the best finished car in the country. The best one of these, certainly. Not the best car in the country, but it'll certainly be the best of these. Or I hope so. It's a bold statement to make, but he's given me the time to try and achieve it. And this is the sort of job that you just get once in a blue moon. And having a client like Ian, who's like-minded, wants the best he can have, and giving me the opportunity to do what I want to do, I have to say thank you very much. And without clients like yourself, I wouldn't be in business. So I'm going to try and make Ian proud, and myself, with the finish that I achieve on this car. There is no time limit for this, so I can basically do whatever I want to achieve the best finish I can. So thank you, Ian, firstly for giving me the opportunity to work on your car in the first place. You know, to have such an expensive car dropped with me, and he's never been here before, that's a lot of trust, and I thank you for that. And I'll going to repay you in blood, sweat and tears. Anyway, I'm ready to start polishing the rest of this wing and get it up to within one stage like I have the front. So I'll see you a little bit later, and we'll see how it come out. I thought I'd have a look, see how we're getting on, and you'll see I'm just doing the first cutting on the door. Let this focus. Still a few sets of cutting to do on this section. That's the section I've flatted up to, and then when I move along, because I want to make sure the transition to the rear quarter is the same, I'll flat that piece into the rear quarter at the same time. But that's like over 2/3 of the way into the door, but I was more interested this end in getting the transitional light the same as the wing. But like I say, this needs a couple of more passes, but from a first cut I'm really happy with how it's coming out, and got rid of a lot of nasty scratches, and also I believe in making sure that it's done right to the bottom of the door, and that's why I flatted to the bottom of the door. Want the finish the same at the bottom as the top. So still a lot of work to do yet, but it's always nice to see how it's coming along. Make sure that the light matches. Of course you can't tell when you're flatting it. You know, if you flat it a little bit further, it gets you know, a bit smoother transition, and then you have to go back to this panel and flat that some more. But no, I'm happy with that. Right, I'm going to carry on polishing up to that end. Probably take me to the end of the day to get to there, and then do the second stage cutting afterwards. It won't be done today, that's for sure. The flatting takes forever, but well worth it. Well worth it. Right, I'll see you later. Good morning, it's Ted, and it's Saturday morning and I'm in the yard. Now, I was working on the rear of the front wing and this door yesterday, and although I really thought, yeah, that looks good, I've come in the cold light today and looked at the door again and thought, I can get it better than that. So I'm going to flat the door again. Really, the front edge of the door is crisper than the middle section of the door. It's only slight, but it's enough for me to think, well, if you want to get it as good as you can get it, then you're going to have to do it. And it's not far off, but I will be flatting it again. So I'm going to give myself the morning off flatting today. You know, the old arms do suffer a little bit. You know, when you've been flatting for half the day and polishing for the rest of the day, you know, when you get to our age. So what I'm going to do today is something a little bit different, but's got to be done. This is the driving lamp from the driver's side of the car, and although I've polished the outside of the lamp, you can still see that it looks a bit milky, and that's from the inside of the lamp. So today we're going to strip the lamp down and we're going to polish the inside of the glass and see if we can get it up a lot better. So basically I'm going to show you the tools that I've got ready to do this job, and then I'm going to film taking it apart and doing the job. I've never took one of these apart before, so it's a first for me and probably the first for a lot of you to watch how we're going to do it. So I'll just show you some of the tools that we've got. Most important tool here is going to be the heat gun, but because, as you can see, these nylon clips that hold the lamp together, these have got to be squeezed together to get them out. Now, it's cold today and the lamp's 29 years old, so the nylon could be brittle. So before I even start stripping it, I'll be warming the lamp up with the heat gun. I'll then be removing this long screw, which is the adjuster screw for the left and right of the driving lamp. Now, I'm going to take a note of how many threads are showing through it. There's about 3, so I can put it back as close as I can. But the owner has told me that he's going to be getting the lamps adjusted anyway. So that'll be the first job, is to remove this screw, and then with the help of some pointed nose pliers, we'll be squeezing these clips together so that we can remove them from the clamps. And you can see there's one there and one there, and like I say, I'm going to warm them up so they don't break. I've got some of the other lamps here which I'm going to polish the outsides of. We're not going to split these lamps because they're glued together. We could, if we had to, by warming them up, softening the glue, remove the lens and polish the inside, but I'll have a look when we polish the outsides. Now, I've got a screwdriver. I've put an extension on the 1-inch mop so that when I've got this lot out, I'll be able to polish inside. I've got a wall pad and a foam pad ready for the polishing, and I'm going to put the camera in the tripod and let you come along with the journey of doing this lamp. I mean, it shouldn't take a long time, but you know, it might help somebody in the future, you know, if they want to take some of the part. You know, it might give them the confidence to have a go, and that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm going to take a photograph of the lens. I mean, on the camera it doesn't look as milky as it does to the eye. You know, it looks quite clear, but I can assure you it's not, else I wouldn't be going to this trouble to take it apart. So I've made myself a cup of coffee, which is obligatory. You can't do these jobs without a coffee. And I've got a stool that I've pulled up so I can sit here and do it at my leisure. So I'll set the camera up and then we'll start stripping it. So I'll see you in a short while. Right, so I've unscrewed the adjuster screw. Now it has got a collar on it which keeps the screw in place. So, but now the lamp this side is all loose. Now I'm going to gently warm the nylon or plastic, whatever it's made of. If we break any of these clips, then it's a new lamp, so we don't want to be doing that. We don't need to get them red hot to the point where they're melting, we just want to make them more flexible. One, they won't break, and two, they'll go back into their own shape, ready to clip them back in. And like I've said before, it's not a race to do anything. A bit of patience makes a massive difference. It causes you less grief in the future. Right, so I'll just put the gun down. Excuse me. and I'm just going to test. I'm not going to, well, that's nice and flexible and should now release. So that's that one, and that one's flexible as well. So that's the lamp unit removed, painless. Now, do not try and polish up this. It's sprayed on chrome and you'll just rub through it. So you can lightly dust it, but don't try and polish it up, because I'm guaranteeing you'll just make it worse than it was in the first place. Just dust it off, and as you can see, the reflector is now nice and clean. So I'm going to put that to one side, and that now leaves us with the glass. Now I've got some Menzerner 2500 medium cut paste. Just shake the bottle to make sure it's all mixed together, because when you leave these overnight, the solvents inside do tend to separate. So we're going to give it a nice shake. Put a little bit of compound on the pad. Because I've got the extension in, I haven't got to worry about it in this screw with the body of the machine. And I'm going to start off on speed 2 with this wall pad. And just gently massage it. Sounds really professional when you say things like that, doesn't it? And then we go up and down the lines, the grooves that are in the glass, and let the wall get into the grooves. And like I say, we'll try and remove the milkiness. Probably just years and years of little bit of water in there and evaporation, leaving a residue on the inside of the glass. Right, now I've got some panel wipe which I'm just going to spray on a microfiber. Give it a wipe round. Take a clean microfiber to wipe off the residue from the panel wipe. I'm going to have another go with the wall, just to make sure that we've got it all out. Just a few remaining little bits that I can see. Just load the pad again. We don't need to put loads of compound on. I've got this on speed 2 if anybody's interested. I'm going to get to the side of the glass a little bit more than I did on the first pass. I'm not putting any real pressure on this. I'm letting the wool particles of the mop head get down into the grooves of the glass. If I was pushing it hard, it doesn't give them a chance to get into the grooves. So I'm just very, very lightly. There's no pressure on it. I mean, if I was pressure on it, I wouldn't be able to hold it like that, would I? So just let in the airs, do the job. Let's give it another wipe. Well, to be honest, that's now as clear as it can be. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to change the head for a foam head. I'm going to still use the same compound, don't need to go super fine. It's not really going to make any difference to the inside of this lamp. And again, I'm not putting loads of compound on. I'm going to go up to speed 3 now and just polish. Again, we're going to wipe the residue out because I don't want that fogging it up. And get all the bits of polish residue out. Now the outside I'd already polished, so I don't think it will need any more. But that now looks like brand new. So I'm just going to make sure there's no paste in here around the letters or anything that's stamped into the lamp, because it will annoy me if I see them and think, well, you ain't cleaned that very well. So let's just double check. And that looks nice to me. So now it's just a reverse of how we took it apart. Clip these clips in and then we'll screw the adjuster back together. Until it goes through for 3 threads. Try saying that. And there we have it. A lamp that looks like brand new. Well, I hope this has been interesting for you. I'm just going to give all the plastics a clean up. Get all the dirty fingerprints, not that they're my dirty fingerprints, I have to say. But we'll clean the lamp. Using a bit of pad and wipe, remove any debris. And that's now ready to be refitted and should look $1 million. Right, I'm going to get on and polish these lenses. You know, again, they don't look bad, but they're going to get polished anyway. And that's just a straight polish, so I'm not going to bother showing that. So there we have it. One lamp made to look like brand new. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, you know, that you'd like me to demonstrate, just leave me a comment and I'll do my best to do it for you. But you've seen on my videos, there's stripping pagoda headlights and stuff like that to redo them. I mean, this is a concourse detail, and you know, it's about getting every part of the car back to as good as I can get it. So this is why we go to this sort of trouble. Right then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week when I get back onto the paintwork and do more flatting. See you soon. Unpolished. Polished. And I think you'll agree, they look an absolute treat back in its home in the bumper. Everything's been cleaned inside and out. Right, get the other side done now.